I told you that we won't stop, y'all. It's Hot Mic Sports. Let's go ahead and get the mic hot. You already know what time it is. It's your host, Dev. And today in our weekly episode, we're going to be talking about who is the real MVP, who is our contenders, who's our pretenders, and who's our player of the week. And so let's go ahead and get the mic hot. Let's go ahead and start out with talking about who's the MVP, y'all. Now, over here at Hot Mic Sports, it took me a little bit, but from watching, going into the trade deadline, I had to wait and see who was who, what was what, and what teams were for real. Now, today we're going to be talking about who our MVP candidates are, not ESPN's MVP candidates, not NFL Network's MVP candidates, but Hot Mic's MVP candidates. And today we're going to start it out with Jonathan Taylor from the Indianapolis Colts, y'all. 7-1 record, having an outstanding season, 143 carries, 850 yards. The man is averaging almost 6 yards a carry, okay? 5.9 to be exact, and he's rushed for 12 touchdowns. Crazy, outstanding season for a running back so far in this league, playing right now. And like I said, his Colts are 7-1 and number one in the conference of the AFC. All right. And then next we got Baker Mayfield. Now, I know we haven't seen Baker Mayfield play in a week, coming off a bye, right? Not to mention his best receiver, Mike Evans, got hurt. Okay. He's got a solid 1,900 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 2 picks, and his team is 6-2. Now, that defense is playing okay, enough for them to be close in games. And Baker Mayfield is doing what he can do without Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and he's playing with a rookie wide receiver, y'all. Come on, I mean, hey, what more can you do? What more can you do? And next, we got Bo Nix, okay? Bo Nix has shown you that he has arrived in the NFL as one of the quarterbacks who can get the job done. Playing under the great Sean Payton, playing with that number one defense. His team is number one in his division with 6-2 record over the Kansas City Chiefs and the LA Chargers. It started with the 33-point comeback, followed by the big performance against Dallas Sunday. Man, I believe in Bo Nix. He's playing really good, and like I said, I believe he has arrived, y'all. And then last but not least, we have the great Patrick Mahomes. Now, Patrick Mahomes should be in the MVP conversation every season, okay? He is in a dynasty in itself, and he's the quarterback, mentioned with one of the greats. And so far, he's having a decent season, especially the way it started, without his 2 top targets, okay? He is still thrown for 2,099 yards on 17 touchdowns and 4 picks, all right? He is still playing like Patrick Mahomes. And they put the league on notice in the last few weeks saying, hey, don't forget about us, and we better not forget about him because at the end of the year, like I always say, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be there. And who's leading that team? Patrick Mahomes. So you got to watch out for him. So those are MVP candidates. Let's see which one of these guys elevate above the others going into later on into the season, heading into the postseason. And let's see if one of these guys win MVP. But those are our picks here at Hot Mic Sports. Now we're going to get into the honorable mentions because we have a couple players playing pretty good at MVP caliber level for their teams as well, starting with Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford, 5-2, tied for the best division record. He's thrown for 17 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Playing with one of the best wide receivers in the NFL as far as every statistical category. Him and Puka Nacua are lighting it up. Him and Sean McVay are getting the job done, and they're quietly 5-2, and he's quietly having a great season, like I said. 17 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. If that was Aaron Rodgers, we'd be praising him. So we got to go ahead and give Matt Stafford his props. Followed by Sam Darnold, who's also 5-2 on his team. 1,866 yards on 12 touchdowns and 4 picks, all right? He's having a great year. He really is, especially coming out of nowhere. He played decent in Minnesota. Now he's in Seattle playing with Jackson Smith and Jigba, and these guys are lighting it up every week. It seems they're on your highlight reels from SportsCenter. So those are a few honorable mentions, and we're not going to leave out Dak Prescott, however. Now, Dak Prescott still playing like Dak Prescott, still throwing for over 2,000 yards, 16 touchdowns, 5 picks. His team is 3-4. However, he's playing at an MVP caliber level. Now he's got CeeDee Lamb back. Even though they're coming off of a big loss against the Denver Broncos, let's see if they can turn it around. Because that's going to be Dak, I always say. But let's see if he can squeeze them into the playoffs and make some noise in the playoffs. Then we'll be able to see if he's really an MVP contender, y'all. Now, this last one's going to shock you. And it may not shock you, but in honorable mentions, we got to give props to Drake May, okay? Patriots are 6-2. He's also thrown for 2,000 yards, believe it or not, 15 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. The team is number one in their division over the Buffalo Bills. And that says a lot because nobody saw this coming, including myself. But if you watch the Patriots play every week, Drake May continues to show you that he's arrived in the NFL. He has continued to show you that the New England Patriots have their quarterback of the future. And if you play the New England Patriots, you're going to have to deal with them. Because with that coaching staff and that organization, to see this team playing like they're playing with the chemistry and the camaraderie, they're going to be there to contend going into the postseason. I do believe in the Patriots, y'all. Just throwing that out there. So those are your honorable mentions. Those are our MVP candidates. Now, let's see which one of these players are going to rise above the others and stand out. Now, I'm curious to see who it's going to be. But at the end of the day, my MVP, I think, is going to be Patrick Mahomes, as long as he can propel them into the playoffs and steal that division from Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. Now, followed by them, we're going to give you our first player of the week. And this guy really, really deserves it. He's the only player on their team right now who is a Hall of Famer. He's the only player on the team who stands out. And even though he plays on the defensive side of the ball, it seems that he continues to carry this team every week and put them on his back and go through the jungle. And this is the great Myles Garrett, okay? We're giving Myles Garrett the player of the week, coming off of a 5-sack performance against those New England Patriots that we just mentioned. 5 sacks, all right? This man did all he could do, and he said he would trade those sacks for the win. And I can't blame him, man, because at the end of the game, in frustration, he was sitting at the end of the bench by himself. But what more can you do? This man is a specimen. You see how he's built? He's probably the most athletic player in the NFL, to be honest with you. He has 112 sacks in 117 games. 2023 Defensive Player of the League. I think he's going to get Defensive Player of the League this year because he is the best defensive player in the league. He has still in the best pass rusher spot from T.J. Watt. And no matter which way you slice the cake, Myles Garrett is the player that you have to worry about every week when you play the Browns. So our first player of the week is going to go to Myles Garrett, y'all. We see you, Myles Garrett. So those are your MVP candidates. There's your player of the week in Myles Garrett. So next we're going to get into one of our newest segments here at Hot Mic Sports called Who's Contenders, Who's Pretenders. And first we're going to start with our pretenders. And our number one pretender here at Hot Mic Sports is the Buffalo Bills. Now don't get me wrong. They're coming off of a big win against the Carolina Panthers. But yeah, come on, man. 40 points in the Carolina Panthers. I mean, I don't see any Hall of Fame players on that defense. They went in there, they handled business, they did what they were supposed to do. However, they're last in run defense. And going into the postseason and going into the later year of the season, we both all know you got to be able to stop the run, play defense, and run the ball. Now, they have a running game in James Cook. We've already seen that they can do that. But they also have shown us they cannot stop the run. You pair that with a team who can run the ball in the postseason, and later on in the year, Buffalo Bills are in trouble. So I just don't see them being able to turn that around no time soon. And who knows? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But right now, they're pretenders. Now, this next one's going to hurt me because it's my Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers, 4-3, number one in division, coming off of a loss against the Green Bay Packers team where they had the lead. Okay? They had the lead, but for whatever reason, that defense is crumbling. And with T.J. Watt on the decline, Cameron Hayward playing the best of his ability, seems like Jalen Ramsey's washed up. This defense is not what it used to be under Mike Tomlin. I knew that over the first 2 games of the season. I wanted to know where was the defense because you can't rely on 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers to carry this team. You're not going to shoot out every offense that you play. He's just not that guy anymore. He's just enough to win you games. And right now, the Steelers have no identity. Until they have an identity, they're going to be in trouble. And then that's why they're our pretenders, okay? It hurt me to say that, but it is what it is. Next, we have one of the teams who was one of the hottest teams in the league. And without your starting quarterback, you're not going to win too many games. And this is Michael Penix and the Atlanta Falcons. So a couple weeks ago on the Monday Night Performance, we saw the Atlanta Falcons and Bijan Robinson run through the Buffalo Bills, right? Big performance that game. Atlanta showed you that, hey, they're one of the best young teams in the league, but they have not been consistent enough. They are 3-4, okay? 3-4. Despite all the big plays, despite all the hype, all the young talent on the team, they have not been able to consistently string some wins together. And so until they do that, they're on our pretenders list, and let's hope they can turn it around when Michael Penix comes back. But right now, they are pretenders. Now, this next one's going to shock you because it's another NFC South team. That is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, okay? Yeah, they do have Baker Mayfield, one of our MVP candidates, but Baker Mayfield does not have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and he's relying on a rookie wide receiver. That's a recipe for postseason failure. Yeah, the defense is okay, but without enough on offense to be able to carry you into these big games on the road or at home, close, where you can run the ball and play defense, I just don't see the Buccaneers panning out too well. So right now, they're pretenders, okay? Now, this next one is a team that I predicted to win the division, but right now, I just don't think they have enough big injury on defense, and that is the San Francisco 49ers, okay? Now, the San Francisco 49ers, when healthy, I had predicted them to win the division and make the playoffs. But they don't have Fred Warner, and as great as Kyle Shanahan is drawing up plays and motivating his team and pushing them as far as they can go, I just think missing Fred Warner is not going to help your defense later on in the year when teams are really going to be focused on running the ball and playing physical. Not having Fred Warner is really going to stand out. And so in the division with Seattle Seahawks and the LA Rams, I just don't see the 49ers being able to make a strong enough push to win that division. Now, this next one's not going to surprise too many people, but it might. And that's the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are pretenders. I did predict the Dallas Cowboys to be the sleeper team in the NFC South. However, they have taken a step back. Defense isn't showing up when they need to. They just coming off of CeeDee Lamb injury, where CeeDee Lamb did come back. George Pickens has been playing pretty good. Dak Prescott, one of our honorable mentions in MVPs, right? But without that defense being able to consistently show up and stop teams, I just don't believe in the Dallas Cowboys anymore. Playing against Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos really showed me who they really are, all right? We all know now who the Dallas Cowboys are, despite how good Dallas Prescott is playing. So those are our pretenders. Now we're going to talk about our contenders, who we think is going to make a deep season push and head into the postseason, y'all. And number one, we're going to start with the Indianapolis Colts. Best record in the NFL, MVP candidate in Jonathan Taylor, playing outstanding. Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, not turning the ball over, not playing like we used to seeing him playing, and this defense is solid, okay? They are contenders, and they are for real. We're going to have to continue to watch them heading later on into the season because they're going to be the team to beat, and a lot of people think so, including myself, followed by this next team, which is the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos are contenders, okay? Under the great coach Sean Payton, this defense is playing outstanding. They are a team to be reckoned with. Follow that with Bo Nix playing MVP caliber level, figuring the game out, and he has arrived. That is a good mixture for late season success and postseason success. So therefore, we got Denver on our contenders list, followed by the New England Patriots, who are also 6-2 and number one in their division, ahead of the Buffalo Bills. Drake May having an outstanding season. A lot of young talent on this team. They are playing really well for Mike Vrabel, and it's been really good to see the New England Patriots hit the reset button, y'all, and really get to see them have a fresh new starting quarterback who they can win with in the future as long as they continue to build around them. So I think the Patriots are contenders. Next, you have the Detroit Lions. Okay, Detroit Lions 5-2, coming off of a bye week. One of the best young superstars in the NFL, Jahmyr Gibbs, best two-headed monster as far as the running game goes in the NFL. Great coach in Dan Campbell. Great young defense. They're playing so hard for this coaching staff. They're young. They're hungry. They're eager to prove who they are. And I think as long as you compare that with the coaching and the running game and Jared Goff playing solid, Detroit is going to be a team that's going to be there at the end of the year. And my NFC championship contender is Detroit Lions. Now, with that being said, in the NFC North, you also have a team in the Green Bay Packers, 5-1, coming off a big win against my Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. They have a solid offense with Romeo Doubs, Kraft, and Jordan Love all seem to just put the team on the shoulders and lead them to wins, man. Jordan Love is here. Jordan Love has arrived, and I think it's going to be between them and Detroit for that NFC North title. Followed by the Rams at 5-2 with their MVP caliber quarterback and Matt Stafford also playing really good. Sean McVay, one of the greatest coaches, young coaches in the league. They know what it takes to win games, and I think that they're going to be there at the end with the Seattle Seahawks. It's going to be between one of these two teams to win that NFC West, okay? And right now, those are the best two teams playing out there. Just offenses on display, y'all, and I love to see it. Followed by the Eagles, okay? You never question the heart of a champion. They're 6-2. A lot of people had questions about the passing game, and they answered those questions. A lot of people didn't think Jalen Hurts could get the ball moving downfield, and what they do, they come out and have big games with A.J. Brown, Not only do they have a big game with A.J. Brown, but they come out the next game and have a big game with Devontae Smith. I wasn't one of those people who believed in the Philadelphia Eagles until Jalen Hurts proved me wrong. And right now, over here on Hot Mike Sports, we do not hate. So we got to give the Eagles props. They are contenders. We said they couldn't run the ball. Guess what? Saquon has a big game against the New York Giants, over 100 yards rushing, and big game from yards from scrimmage. So Philadelphia has showed me that you cannot ever question the heart of a champion. Followed by another champion before them, the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they are the contender, y'all. 2-3 to start the year. Patrick Mahomes not having none of his starting wide receivers. What does he do the first game back? Win. What do they do the following game? Win. What do? They could go on a 3-game winning streak where they pop off the next 3 games in a row, okay? You never question the heart of a champion, but you definitely never question the heart of one of the greatest of all time, Andy Reid and the coach and the quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. They're going to do what it takes to get there. Even if they make a wild card, you still got to watch out for them because they are the new dynasty, right? One of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, he's going to be there, and he's shown you all I got to do is have a little bit, and I'm going to make it work. And that is one of the things about the Chiefs and why I think that they're going to be there in the AFC Championship at the end of the year, because no matter what, you're going to have to go through the Kansas City Chiefs, all right? No matter what. Now, these were your MVP candidates. This is your player of the week. This is your contenders and your pretenders. I really, really appreciate y'all for tuning in with me today. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to follow. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to comment. Hey, we want to know, who do y'all think the MVP is, right? Who do y'all think deserves the next player of the week? Who do y'all think are contenders and pretenders, y'all? We would love to know over here at Hot Mike Sports, where we keep the mic hot. This has been Dev. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Don't forget to catch me on our Thursday night recap when we have our Thursday night football game recap. Don't forget to catch me on our weekly predictions and our Who's Hot, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. This is Dev signing off. I'll see y'all next time.